J-Weeks Entertainment presents Black to the Basics, the People's Podcast. J-Erv C-Jizzle, J.Weeks.
Black to the basics, and no it ain't racist. Talking about what we're hated, getting underrated, thinking that we're uneducated. Black to the basics, 3 kings, 3 rings, that are talking about real life things, real life things. Old news, sports news, black love, self-love, you choose. Black to the basics.
Like I was saying, if black people just stick together, there's nothing that we can't accomplish.
Every day we fight for this life, trying to do good for our people, praying that they don't take our life. Every day is like good versus evil. Turn to the mic so we can talk about it. Vision so clear you couldn't see without it. It's time to get black to the basics, all about the culture of all the black faces. Black to the basics, and no it ain't racist. Talking about what
We're here. Back to the Basics Podcast. I am your host and 1/3, Mr. J.Weeks, aka 52 the Boss. Here with my man.
It's your boy J-Erv, VA all day, 2 up, 2 down. You know what it is when J-Erv's in your town. What's going on, fellas?
What's going on? It's your boy C-Jizzle, aka Mr. Bring That Heat, Florida born, South Georgia raised, showing love from coast to coast, baby. What's going on?
Fellas. Another week.
How y'all feeling?
Oh man, feels like the beginning all over again.
All
bro.
over.
Like, all
Like we
over
starting
again,
all
bro.
over, man. A little bit more smooth though, you know. So
Okay.
easy transition. We are up bright and early. Thank you, gentlemen, for accommodating me and my time today. It's greatly
Hey,
appreciated.
sometimes you gotta make adjustments.
Hey,
Hey,
but
but
that's
it's
what the team was for. Man.
stay ready and got to get ready.
ready, baby.
So today is Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday.
Both
Who
Sunday.
y'all going for right now? Who?
I got the Chiefs, man.
On the spot.
I got the Chiefs.
Okay.
I don't really care. My team ain't in it. But if I have to
You
choose,
see how you man been.
if I have to choose, I'm gonna go with the Chiefs.
The team ain't been in it in a while, bro. So
We got 5 shots. You know what I'm saying?
we got 0. So I'm gonna just be quiet.
Oh,
We ain't even got no appearances, so I'm just gonna sit back over here and be quiet.
Okay, so we gonna see. You know, I think I can go with the Chiefs. Andy Reid, you know, Pat, my homeboy, think he's put in the work. You know, so yeah,
It's gonna be a good game though. San Francisco got the defense for you, boy.
what Richard Sherman say? You ready?
He ready.
He ready.
I would not be mad if Richard Sherman got another one. Only because how Seattle did it.
Yeah.
And a lot of people wrote my man's off.
Yes,
You know what I'm
he
saying?
got hurt.
Yep. He told you.
He balled.
No,
You can't see me. You can't see. Let him know.
He don't travel though, but
He don't travel.
he
Hey.
locks his
He don't
side.
He
have
would
to
lock
cover
you on
cover.
his side.
Right, he gonna
That's
have
all
to
that
cover
matters.
cover. You hear me? He gonna have to cover.
Cover, yeah.
Them boys got some receivers.
Flat out speed.
So we're gonna see how that's gonna end. But today is special. You know, today is very important. Today we are talking about fatherhood and the importance. And we're all fathers here.
So
So
we are.
it should be a good one today.
Yeah, should be.
Y'all already know though, we can't start no show without, first educating the people. So we got to give you our black fact. We're gonna lean on my man C-Jizzle.
Hey.
All right, guys and gals. The black fact of the day is brought to you by your boy C-Jizzle.
Hey, Mr. Bring That Heat.
It's to bring that heat. So this one right here, y'all, this is, like we said, is near and dear because we all are fathers, and I take fatherhood very important. So with that being said, I'm going to just dive right in. In many early tradition and cultures, wives were subservient to their husbands, and the father was solely the head of the family. For many African cultures, this was not the case because men valued the female presence and authority within the community. Men had to prove themselves to be capable of loving and protecting their wives and future children. This caused many African civilizations to have a loving, independent relationships with their family. Because of this, slave owners separated African fathers from their family when they first began the horrific history of slavery. Even though this is already heart-wrenching, slave owners began this as well as other procedures to dismantle the black slave families in America. And to kind of go into it a little even deeper, okay? Fatherlessness is not defined by living arrangement, okay? Josh Leaves, he wrote an article titled, "No, Most Black Kids Are Not Fatherless."
True.
This article deconstructs the 70% of black children are fatherless men. Data from the CDC, yes, they actually track this stuff, right?
CDC.
Fathers' involvement with their children it verified that the majority of black fathers actually live with their children. There's 2.5 million black fathers that live with their children versus 1.7 who don't. Furthermore, whether living in the same home or not, black fathers are the most involved of all primary recorded races and ethnic groups. This is confirmed by the CDC. This is not CJ. That's the CDC.
I think what Ho said, men lie, women lie, but the numbers don't.
No.
So I definitely appreciate that one. We definitely got to give you some. That's definitely a hand clap because we hear it all the time that fathers ain't here. They don't support their family, all different type of things. So it's good to have it's good to have the data to back up.
Yes.
So we ain't just talking about it.
Correct.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
We out here, man. It's a good thing.
We take care of our babies, and we are more involved, meaning like in school, sports, like everything.
I'm a sports dad. I don't care if you lacrosse, bowling, soccer, swimming, water polo.
So I got girls, so I got cheerleading and soccer, gymnastics.
So shout out to
shout out to all the
soccer and gymnastics dads out here.
Definitely, we see y'all.
Yeah, we see y'all out here getting it.
That appreciate that one for our black fact, and we got to keep our ears to the streets, and we gonna lean on my man J-Erv to give us that word on the street.
4, 3, 2.
So the word on the street today, man, this is really, really special, man. Big news. So there's a black news channel set to launch this month in February.
Yes.
24-hour national outlet targets black viewers.
Okay.
This is launching, looks like February 10th.
Yes.
Slated for 33 million homes. Okay. This is based out of Tallahassee, Florida.
Okay.
Another fun fact about one of the investors that were involved with this situation was Mr. Shahid Khan. Okay. You should know who that is. That's the owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yes.
He donated 20+ million as an investment into this, right?
Whoa.
So I wanted to read something from him. Mr. Khan states, I believe that there is an undeniable calling for everything the Black News Channel will deliver to African American television audiences who have historically been undeserved. Khan said in a news release, my decision to invest is an easy one because we get the answer that calling. So
dope. That's
just like anything else, man. When you know you have something special, you can see it, or you get involved with it early. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so,
and it's kind of cool that I want to say he's the only non-white owner in the NFL, majority owner in the NFL. Got some minority owners, but to kind of see him, get involved and do that, I mean, that's huge.
Yeah, and the network is dope because. Don't get me wrong, we have our TV ones and the BETs, but we also need more because it's only so much those networks can do. And I know BET now has Tyler Perry writing all his shows on there, so that's super dope. And now to have a network, that's something forward to.
The good thing with that, as far as the news base, right?
That's what I was gonna say. I don't like watching the news now, because it depicts us in a negative light. Absolutely sad and tragic.
So now we have an outlet and a voice, and who knows, people. You may see us on the network.
That's the team.
Black to the basics, you're right. So definitely appreciate that. Keep the word on the street.
Absolutely.
I had something I wanted to add to the word on the street. That, I just felt like it kind of bothered me a little bit. I'm not mad. It ain't tell me why you mad, Mom.
Tell them why you
mad. I seen online that for those who watch the TV show Friends, David Schwimmer is how you pronounce his name, had posted that there should be a black version of Friends.
Boy, you better get out of here.
But we already have that. It's called Living Single,
yes.
And it was a year before they were Friends. It was Living Single.
That's a great show,
right?
One of the best.
Living Single is my only show that I have above that is Martin because Martin can't be touched.
We know that's your guy.
That's my dude. I don't take no Martin Lawrence hair. That's all I'm saying. But definitely, I was kind of disturbed. Wow, why would he say that? Was he just saying it just to get response, or I don't know? Maybe he was just kind of talking off the cuff.
Obviously, he's not cultured, man. He didn't get to watch it.
But you can't. There's no way you can tell me that you didn't know about that because the show came out before, and literally, Friends is just they literally just took the same concept. They're both in New York, 6 friends, and they just took it to put it in a different part of New York. Right. But it's still the same thing.
But you got to think though, man. It probably wasn't. They wasn't checking for that.
That's what I was gonna say.
We 20 years in the game.
But here's the thing though. Back then, there was a lot of great black television shows, right? That got
Yeah.
overlooked.
Right,
And
right.
now, like, you can go back and
But they even talk about like budgets and things. Like they film on different lots, you know. So I appreciate having the show friends, but of course I love living single. And
I'm gonna be honest with you,
that's
dog.
all my job.
I've never seen a
Most people
single
have.
episode.
I've never seen a single episode.
Never
I was
seen
gonna
it.
say that.
Right, never seen it. Don't.
I just know of it.
Right, and
Well, I
don't.
went to SCAD, so SCAD we watch.
I never watched a single. I couldn't tell you what character, what the story, I couldn't do none of that.
Yeah, this a dude named Ross on there, right?
He's David Schwimmer.
So
He's
you
actually-
know,
okay,
look,
good.
you know who I not do. I did not know
I'm
that.
a culture, ladies and gentlemen. You see that? That boy's culture.
But yeah, that really bothered me. But it just made me see that, like our grandfathers and mothers, that we get overshadowed so many times.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's now we have a voice, so we can speak on those things. Like we're here, we're not going anywhere. And there's, like you see, we got a whole network that's dedicated to us. So that's definitely a big shout out. So appreciate the giving us that word on the street. So today we are talking about fatherhood, something that I know I'm very excited about. You know, I love being a father, probably one of the greatest things I've ever done. I know you guys are excited as well.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So we gonna kind of just dive right into it, the importance of fatherhood. So, you know, we're all fathers, so we're gonna start with my man J-Erv. Just tell us, you know, about your situation being a father. How's that?
Man, I love being a father, man. It was definitely a growing experience for me. Like,
How many kids?
I have two. I've got a 6-year-old. She'll be 7 next month. Love you,
Okay.
Parker.
Parker.
And I have a 4-month-old. You know, baby Logan. So Daddy loves you. So, but yeah, it's a great experience, man. I've got, you know, 2 different age groups, so I get a chance to go through, you know, her becoming, you know, hopefully not a teenager no time soon.
Slow it down.
She's got Parker has an old soul, man. So
Right,
you know, and then dealing with, you know, the newborn, man, that's a whole nother different experience.
And Parker's very, very outspoken.
Right. She will let you know
Not a shy
all the
ball.
time.
Right. Not a shy ball.
Right. I love it, man. There's nothing more that makes me happy than being a father, man. You know what I'm saying? Just having that opportunity to be a role model, like we talked about last show.
Yep.
And just, you know, I have 2 girls, man. So like my perspective is gonna be a little different.
Because they learn, women, girls, I would say, learn love from their father. So however you treat them, what they see, that's how they're going to characterize or search for.
Yeah, right. And so I try to treat their mother a certain way.
Right.
You know, even though sometimes, you know, it might not be the easiest.
Yes.
But
I
know
mean, she said yes to you.
Yeah,
I
she
mean,
did.
I looked at her like to give her a look in the wedding, like, you know, we can always.
Blink twice if you
Right.
Nah, but y'all got a beautiful union, man. I got to witness y'all wedding and just see, you know, the love that y'all have for each other. Y'all even spun on haters a little bit. You know, you came out with the 11s, the Jordan 11s.
Right.
Oh yeah, they had
What's the video at, man? I know that sick.
I
I
got
got to catch
I sent it to you, man. We had
They had like 3 different outfit
Oh
changes.
my God.
Here we shoes.
Here we go. First of all, our colors was the navy blue and silver. You know why?
Okay.
Cowboys. You know what I'm saying? So my wife agreed to that. She gave me that, and then we came out with the navy blue. What is it? Win like 72.
Mhm.
So yeah, match my tux. You know, she saw them all. So, yeah.
Right.
Goat stuff.
Right.
I like that.
I know came out with the Beyonce. They had an old entrance walking down the steps for it. So it definitely was beautiful. I gotta realize. So for those who don't know, I was at his wedding.
Yeah.
And you know, I had to get my teeth fixed. So I had a lot of surgery had been done. So I haven't been able to eat solid food for 6 weeks. So, you know, Aubrey, I told down everything.
Yeah, everybody plays.
Hey, everybody who didn't eat, I was eating they had gourmet cupcakes.
Here you go. Here you go.
Sorry, Aubrey, but I did take like 10 cupcakes. Like I left with cupcakes. Like I'm not gonna let they just spend good money. So I'm not gonna let their food go to waste.
Imported straight from Italy.
Man,
Look,
that
here
good
y'all
stuff.
go.
Man,
Y'all got you about to try to run
It was true.
I told y'all he goes.
But yeah, it was definitely a beautiful union. But thank you for sharing that. So what about you, C-Jizzle? Situation, fatherhood?
I said it, you know, more than once. I have 4 children. My baby's kids. I love my babies to death.
Them kids ain't bad.
Oh, they ain't bad. They babies bad.
I wonder where they get it from.
I can't deny that either. They are mine. They are their fathers. You know,
So,
babies. But I have 4 children.
Okay.
My oldest is my daughter. It's my heart, 13-year-old. So she is the teenager stage. we are, you know, at the point we having those conversations that I said I didn't want to have.
It's hard.
Y'all continue to pray. Y'all continue to pray. I'm trying to stay as cool and calm as I can.
Right.
Baby girl, I love you so much. But behind her, I have 3 sons. My junior, and then my 2 CJ juniors.
Yeah.
Those boys, they keep me live, they keep me active. It's always a basketball game, always a football game, or a wrestling match
All day.
going on in my home. But they keep me on my toes, man. They keep me young.
And just so you know, if you can't throw hands, don't come to this house.
They don't come to my house.
Hey, the boys ready to duck you for your butt.
They swinging on other kids. They swinging on parents, aunties. They even swing on their grandma.
Hey, little dogs.
They don't matter. They hit everybody.
This man got 3 boys. Hey, I like how you took kind of a, I know George Foreman had named all his sons George, you know, and you, going by CJ, all your boys have CJ for their initials.
And most people think when they hear CJ that I'm a junior. Yeah, and I'm actually not a junior. The J is my middle name. But I've been going by CJ for so long. Yeah.
His government is Cleophas.
Cleophas.
Bro, did you see my face?
Like Cleophas?
You think you know people and you're really
I'm this dude on a pod with me named Cleophas.
I'm never calling him CJ again. It's going to be Cleophas if that's what his name was.
But now I have my oldest son is my junior.
Okay.
And then I decided to give all my sons the CJW initials.
Right.
So just in case if they wanted to, you know, have a part of their dad, they want to go by CJ, they can do that.
Absolutely. I think a junior when at this game, a couple people was calling him CJ.
Yeah, that's what they call him. So he's unique. In some instances, he likes you to call him by his government. When he's in school, he likes to go by junior. And then on the court, or when he's playing football, he likes to go by CJ.
All the actors.
Yeah, taking all the names. Yes.
That way he can know how he know you. That's
exactly. Yeah. If you call him CJ, okay, you know me for ball.
True.
If you call me Junior, okay, you know me for school. And if you call me by my government,
that's how you do it.
You got to be family.
Right. Fact. So along with you, I have 2. You know, I have my daughter's my oldest, Lola. Shout out to my baby, Laura Lola Bunny. That's my heart right there. She, gosh, man, girls take you and turn you into cotton.
Yes.
Like you
Tell
know,
me about it, y'all.
My daughter, like I said, was started, and of course I had my son, you know, my junior, you know, King. Shout out to King Papacito. That's my dude, King J, man. Dog, full of personality. But I love being a father. When I first, you know, had my daughter, I was so excited just because I wanted to have a father, and I wanted to be a father, and just to be able to see them, and you know, my kids look just like me. So it's
King. I will say he started out looking like his mom.
Right.
But when he got that cut, boy, you split him out, dog. Boy, she was mad at you the whole time. The reference.
Hey, bro, there's no need to go on the morning show.
No,
you are.
I literally 100%. Yes, I literally get stopped. Like I go out in public, people will walk up to me. Oh, excuse me, sir. I just have to tell you, he is your exact twin. Like I can't go anywhere without that.
That's dope.
But along with you fellas, man, it's exciting to be a dad. I mean, it's wonderful. It challenges you a lot. It makes you look at yourself and say, like, you know, how can I be better? What can I do to improve? It kind of forces you to be better than what you were before. And you always constantly growing. You know, I feel like when you, not to say when you don't have kids, you're not growing, but it's like when you have kids, you can't stay the same.
Yeah, it makes you become
right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you either go with flight or fight.
True.
Yeah, which one you
True. And so with my kids being they're very me, which is kind of scary because King is like me, maybe 15, 16 years old, and he's like 6. So yeah, and Lo being 10, she's like me on different avenues where she just has no fear. Like she don't care who you are. She'll duck if you buck. She's ready on site. Like she stay ready. Right.
And she hoops too, right?
Yes. She hoops. She does ballet.
Okay.
And I think now she's gonna do volleyball coming up this year.
That's what's up.
So
she's all sports.
She's very athletic. She's tall. Now she wants to be 6'3". I'm like, okay. I don't know how you got that. I hope you get it because Daddy missed that. You could not tell me I wasn't gonna be 6'4".
Yeah.
You know? So
me too.
Yeah. When I was, I'm 6 foot down, but I got this at 11.
Y'all
so
closer to
hey, you hear how I'm 6 foot? He bragging over I'm 5'9" with shoes on, but I got the 6'3" wingspan though for you.
You do have very
frequencies on.
Yeah. I think he can actually stand up and scratch his knee without even bending over.
Hilarious.
And they used to call me King Louis, bro, back in high school. My homeboy called me King Louis because his arm's so long, he scratches out the thing.
I'm telling you, this dude got long arms. So yeah, so now, we're all fathers, and, it's exciting, but, let's kind of flip gears a little bit. How was your relationship with your fathers currently? I'm going to start actually with, C-Jizzle for. So how was it growing up, father, kind of how was that situation?
So I grew up, and I hate even referring to him as a stepfather because he was my dad.
Right.
I grew up, I was 2 years old. I don't remember my biological father being in my life until I was around 16. And then even then it was a little different. It took some getting used to, but the man who I grew up with, the man who I call dad, he taught me the importance of you go to work, you come home, and you take care of yours. So I never went a night without seeing him. He used to go to work, he came home. Do I wish he was more involved in different things that we had going on? Of course. Do I wish that he could have been more romantic or whatnot? Yes. But at the end of the day, he showed me that a man, you get up, you go to work, you work hard for your family, and you bring that money home and you take care of things.
So did he treat you like his actual son?
He treated me, and I will say I was treated more like his son than his own biological children were growing up. So he took, he raised us. He raised me and my sister like we were his. Wow. You couldn't tell us any different. So I hate to refer to him, like I said, as a stepdad, but that was my dad. And without him, he was an integral part of who I am.
Right.
Yeah, man, my situation is a little unique. My father, shout out Lawrence Irvin, he's been in Georgia for since I can remember, 11, 12 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Of course I was in Virginia. My father was very much involved with my life from a long distance, so to speak. Yeah, so from phone calls to visits and stuff like that. But my mother, God rest her soul, she married I'm the same way. I don't believe in the step thing. So to Curtis, shout out Curtis, man. That's a great dude. When he came to my life, I was about 12 years old. Okay. It was 6 of us. I have 5
that's
other.
That's love.
Wow.
I have way more siblings than that. But as far as what he came into is, 6 kids, and he from day one, he treated us like his own children. So growing up, seeing that, right?
Okay.
I knew, it takes a lot for someone to come in and, basically raise
that family.
Like home.
6'2", yeah.
But the best of both worlds is I get advice from my biological father. You met my pops, man. He's
hilarious.
Hilarious.
We got to figure out a way to get pops on the show. This dude is Def Comedy Jam.
Make sure you have the pause, not the pause button, but the bleep button.
Oh yeah. There's gonna be a lot of experts.
Hey, love me, Pop, man, but he cuts like a sailor. I'm talking about, man, it's hilarious, man.
But it's all in good fun.
Right, it's all in good fun. But yeah.
So it was like how you say you just bringing words for it.
Right, man. I talk to my father every day, whether it's via phone or stop by and see him, man. So the advice that I feel like he wasn't able to give me, growing up, because I didn't grow up in his household. He's giving me the advice I need as a man now. Our relationship is. I love my pop.
So how was his relationship with your other dad? The dad
cool.
you lived with.
Yeah,
so they had a relationship.
It was never no beef or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? Because
it made me pull up.
It was never no situation, man. Because like I said, my dad, he understands this. What the situation was, and when you have an understanding and you have the same goal, he is entrusting, Curtis to take care of, make sure that I'm good. Yeah. And it was never a situation, man. So I never looked at them any kind of way. I love, my father. I love Curtis. Nothing. Like I said, I got the best of both worlds. So my father's really helped develop me in my man stage, so to speak. Right. Giving me those jewels and
you got 2 daughters. So
was there ever a time where you may have gotten advice from, and I'm air quotes, your stepdad, and then maybe your dad gave you something different?
Yeah, but the message has always been the same. Okay. It's just different ways. You got to be my pop. Completely different perspective, man. So Curtis is. I always joke with him. He's like Terry Crews from Everybody Hates Chris. He, as far as the financial standpoint, that's 32 cents worth of milk over there. Right. So I had to understand as far as money and stuff like that. From him, just showing how to save and spend, stuff like that. My father's the same way, but he gives me like that hardcore like life, basically what the world is not going to tell you. He shoots it to me straight, no matter what the age is. Like, you know what I'm saying? We have conversations all the time, and it's just to listen to him talk, man. I've learned so much, from my father, man. So
And I would think, was it hard for you initially making that, because you were already 12, right? So to then have a new dad, quote, kind of to speak, was it a transition period where you had to kind of like adjust to
I think
it?
that's what for me, like I used to test. I used to test him.
You had to, bro.
I used to test him a lot, man. Even one time, man, I won't go into the specifics of the story, but everybody has that one time where, like, I'm gonna take on him, right? Listen, man. Now Curtis played baseball in college for Norfolk State. Like, I mean, he wasn't no small dude, man. So like one day we had got into it, man. We outside, I'm in front of my friends and stuff. So shout out to everybody that saw this fight. It wasn't really a fight, but they know what it is, man. So I tried to take on my pops, man, and he grabbed me by my shirt, dog. Like, I'll never forget it.
He felt the love in his hands.
Yeah, I did. He grabbed me by my shirt, dog, and literally, when I tell you, he never hit me. He like pushed me.
That power right there lets you know.
Bro, I fell back. I had leaves and grass, and then it just made me reevaluate life. Like, you know what?
Man,
This ain't really me.
So you know how you talk and joke from the distance, like yeah, you know what I mean. But now, mind you, he over there where you at, like he done threw me like 40 yards back. So after that, man, we never had to. Yeah. Then everybody was. I said, ooh, I saw you get pushed. Like, yeah, like
the truth.
You tried. So I'm taking my anger out on them. But yeah, man. So I've had some great memories with with both of them, man. So it's like I said, I can call either one.
Right.
And
That's dope.
That's
dope. So mine is a little different. My father actually was murdered when I was 4 years old.
Oh, wow.
So
Yeah.
So my actual father, a lot of times people think when you don't have a father, they're not active. You don't know where they are. I know who my father is. My father was actually killed, murdered when I was 4 years old. So for me, I would say never, because my godfather, was kind of a father figure for me. My godfather's also like my grandfather, so he's a little bit older.
Okay.
So I learned most of my things when it comes to just being a man, fatherhood, from him.
Yes.
But growing up, it was very challenging for me. I grew up with a lot of anger issues because of not having a father. I'm gonna be honest with you. If I would have been friends with y'all when I was younger, I would have probably disliked y'all a little bit.
That's right, you did tell me.
Yeah. So I have, and I'm good now, but I had a lot of issues where I dislike people who had fathers. In a sense of like, if we went to school together and you had a dad and you were complaining about, oh, this is so hard. I'm like, dude, you got a dad. Like, what are you complaining about? Like, people that had dads to me and they complain about anything, I looked at them as weak, just because I felt like you had something that I didn't have.
You wish that you was able to have.
Correct.
Absolutely.
And so I was very angry about that. I can honestly say I probably was angry at God for the fact, like, why don't I have a father? I used to ask my mom, like, and it was more challenging for me because my sisters, they had a father. Now, he wasn't as active as I would have liked to be, for a father, but being able to see, there were times where they would get dropped off to him for the weekend or something, and I would just kind of be that kid, like, kind of sitting out waiting. So I had a lot of anger issues when it came to that. And growing up, I was very angry. And what made it worse is that I didn't really vocalize a lot of it. So it was more internal.
Right.
So,
That's the worst.
So I dealt with that growing up, and I remember meeting. This is a funny story, but weird, but it happened. So me and my brother that I'm close with, because my dad has somewhere between 5 and 7 kids. I don't know the exact number, right?
He was putting in work.
Yeah, he was getting it in. So one of our brothers that I'm closest with, I've known since I was in elementary school, maybe 3rd, 4th grade, something like that. We were the tightest friends. We would hang out. We would do stuff. We would do everything. And it wasn't until the 8th grade that we realized that we were actually brothers. Which is weird.
What?
Right.
That's crazy.
So it happened. We were going to, so where I grew up is Old Town Alexandria. So I was living down Richmond Highway. Shout out to everybody on the highway. Route 1. So we were living down the highway, and we were going to go in town to Old Town Alexandria, and I was going to get my hair cut. And he's like, shoot, I'll go with you because I can stop at my grandma's house on Queen Street. Now, everyone who knows Queen Street in the Old Town, we on Queen Street, there's only a couple houses right across from the barbershop.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, yeah, I'm going to go to my grandma. I was like, well, where your grandmother stay on Queen Street?
Grandma stay
Like, yeah, I stay on Queen Street. I'm like, well, who is your dad? He's like, Daryl Belton's my father. I'm like, dog, like, that's my dad. Are you serious right now? So,
Oh, wow.
yeah, so it literally happened like that. So in my mind, I had found, my family. It was going to be like, okay. Because I remember when I was little, like 5 or 6, being able to, I remember small memories of like my dad's side where I would hang out with my grandfather, or, he would communicate with me and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But after that, it kind of just stopped, So once my father was murdered, I would assume that it stopped from there. So when I got my brother, I'm like, yo, I'm good. We good. I just bring him to my mom, and my mom, of course, knows his mom because they went to school together.
Oh, wow.
So it was like a reunion, like, oh yeah, we made it. But I also remember being a teenager and kind of not being, I don't say not accepted, but not acknowledged as being one of his kids.
Right.
And so now then I get, like, oh, I'm in there, and then I not get acknowledged. And so for that point, I was like, I'm done. Like, I don't care about no dad. I don't want no dad. So from 16 on, I was like, I'm straight. I'm cool. Once I got to 16, I didn't care about no dad. If my mom was to ever get married, I would never acknowledge the person. I would tell people I would never call someone dad. Even to this day, it's very hard for me to use that word to someone else. Like, oh, that's my dad. I would never say that.
Gotcha.
So it was very challenging for me, being someone who thought that, okay, I'm going to have this family and we're going to be connected. And for them to kind of look at me like, you don't exist to me, I was very angry.
So when did it start getting better, though?
So it got better for me when I understood, okay, it was kind of one of those things where you realize I'm not going to be accepted. I'm just going to do me. So I put all my passion, my drive, everything into being the best I could be. And so from being 17, 18, I knew at that point I wanted to be a father because I'm like, I never want anyone that I'm associated with to have that. So my goal then was to put myself into everything. So I tried to make myself better. And that's why I went to college and things like that. Because now my mother definitely, I could say I know people say, mom can't really raise a boy and things like that. My mom did an amazing job. Look at me now.
Shout
out to my Dukes out there. So my mother really did an excellent job of kind of molding me. She understood that I was a kid growing up, in the city, and she didn't want me to be just a statistic. So she did everything she could to make sure I didn't get a product of my environment, be in the street. My mom was on me like hard.
And it's much tougher when she's doing it alone.
Right. And she got 2 other kids
with
with it. So she definitely did everything she could to keep me out of stuff. And I would try to hang out, and then my mom would be, they'd be like, hey, Weeks, mom looking for you.
Mom outside.
Right.
You know what time it is. Right.
So my mom, and she used to always tell me, like, you don't understand. I have seen this. I know this. I'm older than you. I know you want to do this, like, but nah, you understand. Like, C-Jizzle, my man, we supposed to hang out. She's like, no, you can't do these things. So I didn't understand it as younger. Like, I just felt like she just didn't get it. And my mother actually moved us to North Carolina when I was like 16, 17 because she wanted a better life for us. And I'm thankful for that today because I probably would have never went to college or anything.
Right.
But moving and kind of being able to see a different perspective changed it for me. And the moment I got to be an adult, I was like, I want to have a family. Like, I knew I want to have that. So it was definitely important to me to really be a father. So, that's why if anybody knows me, y'all know how I get down. When it comes to my kids, I have I don't tolerate nothing.
I think we all feel that.
Right.
With my kids and, like I said, with us, being a brotherhood, like I said.
Right.
When me and him was talking, he was like, yo, teacher,
what's good?
What time we pulling up?
Easy, yeah.
Where we at? You know what I'm saying? So,
and I know that also has shaped me. If anybody knows me and you have kids, I'm very involved with like kids. Like if I see your kid doing something, it's like I immediately go into dad mode. And sometimes I found like, oh, am I overstepping? Am I doing, just because the perception now is like people want to be on their own,
Yeah.
They want to be like, well, that's my son. Why are you
trying to coach my son?
Right.
We was at matter of fact, the last game my son just had, we didn't win. But my son, he played a phenomenal game. Good job. Good job, Juju. But one of the parents asked, hey, where's the tall, skinny guy who came the other day? He should have been coaching the team. I said, oh yeah, that's my guy. That's my son's godfather.
I really went into like full coaching
Yeah, he was
mode. I'm
coaching.
calling plays. I know the plays. Like, hey, defense, different that. Just because I understood, man. I like having to grow up with that. I never want any kid to feel that. So if I can jump in to, hey, be a voice or just be Uncle, you know, I love being Uncle Jay. Hey, don't do this, don't do that. Because I feel like it's important, you know, to have that. And that leads us right into the next part. Why is it important to have that father figure or to be a father figure?
It's really important. I would say, just to kind of get right back on what you were saying about, you know, being involved, being there. I grew up, like I said, my dad, he did show me how to, he went to work, he came home, but he wasn't really involved in different things.
Okay.
I know that affected me a lot. Anything that we had going on, my mom would always show up. Even if we went on like vacations, he was not going.
Right.
He literally went to work and came home.
That was it.
That's it. Not really involved at all. And that, like I said, it affected me. It made me want to start. I was wondering why my biological father, you know, hey, well, why aren't you doing different things with me? It affected me negatively at the time. I had anger. I could not imagine like anything what you was going on. But I had anger growing up. What helped me was when I realized I want a family. And I'm going to be a fantastic father. Like, I'm going to do everything that I'm not getting from my biological father, and that things I'm not getting from my stepfather, and even with I feel like my mom wasn't giving me, and I'm going to cook all that stuff, and I'm going to be the perfect dad. And I just wanted to make sure that my kids never had that kind of anger or animosity towards anyone because they got everything they need right now.
Correct. Yeah. What about you, Jay?
I think it's very important. I think it shapes the children to kind of who they're going to be. What I mean by that is what they see your parents do, you know, as far as like if, you know, daddy played basketball or sports, you know, your children don't want to do those things. If you are showing like love and, you know, preaching that amongst your household, they know like, hey, this is what a family is all about.
Correct.
So it can shape you in a good way, and it can also shape you in a bad way because like you can't like for your, you know, to your case, with you being consumed with anger and stuff like that, had your mother not been, wasn't the person that she is, you could have easily been out just tearing stuff up because you like, you know, I've never seen anything different other than, you know, me not having a father. So it shapes you and, you know, it can go both ways. So that the key thing is just making sure that, you know, you always keep that in the forefront. Because your kids are watching. Like, people think all the time. Like, you know what I'm saying? When you think you done, they're not watching. Trust me.
And I said it earlier, like, with girls, like, with my daughter, like, my daughter's very much so affectionate. Like, she wants to hug me. Let me touch your beard. Like, she's all, you know, clean. And everything, you know, I tell her, it's like, well, my dad said this. You know, even younger, if there's somebody like, oh, you pretty, she's like, oh, I know. My dad told me. Like, that's how you're supposed to. You can talk to Low Dad, she would tell you, she'd be like, oh, yeah, I already know. Like, my dad tells me that. Like, you can't convince her that she's not. So I look at dads are building that confidence, right? You know, and then with your son, on the flip side, whatever you have sons, whatever you do, I don't care if you sell dope, you murder people, you a pastor, you play basketball, whatever it is they see you do, they want to do what their dad is doing. It don't matter. I remember King, like, he didn't like something. So the way we would get King to eat something, he would say, well, you know, your dad loves broccoli. My dad loves broccoli? It instantly would change for him. It was instantly like, oh, my dad loves it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to eat it. Right. And so I think it's important that
don't work in my house.
Right. They like, right. But on the flip side with that, if you doing something, they want to do it.
That's true.
Because if they see you, like, hold on, Dad doing what? You working out? Oh, let's go to that too. Right.
Even Big Chris will come down.
Oh yeah. We got to lock the kids out the Williamsburg gym because they will be in there.
But that's good though, man.
Yes. But so I think it's important that we see that they can see, like, this is, like you said, I know with your dad, you said, you know, my dad was there. I got to see the work ethic.
Yes.
You got that from him, right? You know, you said, you know, Herb, you said your dad was there, game, things like that. So you got to see that support system. Those things are molded. Sometimes people look at it like the experiences you had to go through were negative and they don't understand the lesson of it. Those things that you had to experience molded you to who you are.
There's a lesson. You know? There's a lesson in every blessing.
Yeah, and so you can alter that and change it to whatever. Like if you said my dad was there on one aspect, but I wanted to do more.
Yes.
So now you do that with your kids.
I do more.
Right.
I do a lot.
But on the other side, you got to understand, my dad showed me a work ethic. This is what a man is supposed to do. So I definitely feel like it's important for us to be out there and show them what it's going to be.
And another thing too, like, you know, I do daddy-daughter dates. No, I don't post these on social media for any kind of hype, but I think I've ruined my daughter. For any man in the future that wants to date my daughter, you're going to have to come correct. Here's why.
Right.
So, you know, we went on the daddy-daughter date, right? She wanted to go out to lunch. I said, we'll take you to lunch. So I'm thinking a 6-year-old, we can go pizza, you know, stuff like that. No. Parker tells me, I'm saying, what do you want to eat today, baby? Well, I was watching TV and I saw a commercial for Olive Garden.
Ooh.
I want to go there.
Right?
Right. So we go, we sit down, she sit across from me, we having a conversation, like a full conversation. Like and I didn't realize the impact of how that was until the next day when my wife picked her up from school.
Right.
She got in the car, she was like, all my friends, I told them about my date. They was like, my daddy doesn't take me to Olive Garden, so I want. Can we go next time?
Yeah.
So you can't take my daughter to, you know,
Can't take her to
if I allow her to date. No, I'm just playing. But she,
like 40.
Right,
About
45. Yes, no.
45.
You cannot take my daughter to Olive Garden because at 6 years old, she's already experienced that kind of stuff. So it's not spoiling your kids, but it's like I always wanted to, you know, do for them.
Right.
You know, not saying I didn't have that kind of stuff. You know,
But you want them to experience it.
Right, absolutely.
Right. So that's definitely a good way. And you brought us to the next point. So what about and me having a mom that was single? What about the single mom to say, you know, I did all this by myself and things like that, or the moms that want to feel like they don't need the father to be in it. You know, what do you say to that?
What I say to that is, from one of me, shout out to all the single mothers out there. My mother was a single mother for a little bit, and I was able to hand clap on that, hand clap. I think that, you know, women are very independent. Not saying they can't do certain things. However, it is important for a child to see a man in their children's life.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's about
it definitely is a balance. And like I said, like my mother did it for a while. I was able to watch her work ethic. She knew she had 6 kids to take care of. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of the things I look for, like when I was, you know, and I see in my wife,
right.
Like the independency or like, you know, whatever it has to be done for the children. Mm-hmm. She does it. Like if she's sick, 105 degrees,
no matter.
It doesn't matter.
Moms go to a whole nother level. There's no comparison when it comes to that. But I definitely think it's a balancing act.
It is
for it. How do you feel about that? With
So,
single mom.
I didn't grow up in a home with a single mom.
Mm-hmm.
I will say it does break my heart anytime I see someone on Father's Day, you know, go get a Father's Day card for their mom. Mm-hmm. Not to say it's anything wrong with it, but it's like, man, like, you know, you missed out on having that father figure or that father in your life. But for my mom, she did do a lot of stuff on her own because my dad didn't do a lot. But like I said, besides go to work, come home.
Right.
So it was a lot of times where she was like a single mom. If I had something to do over here and my sister had something to do over there, she was figuring out both ways. No matter if she was sick, no matter, what was going down. She just, you know, she made me, you know, want to have kids one day. I'm like, I want to try to be like her. Like she was superwoman to me. Right. So I can imagine for the women who are actually doing it by themselves, if I thought that my mom was superwoman and she had a little help, I can't even fathom not having that. Like, shout out to the single mom. Shout out to the right.
It's definitely hard.
But to answer the second part of your question, for a mom to say, well, I don't need the man. Like, I understand that and I appreciate the independence, but it does take both. It takes the yin and it takes the yang. It takes a village to raise a child. You can't do it by yourself.
I think Chris Rock said, ain't nothing like saying, I'm going to tell you daddy.
Yeah, that's a different thing.
Let's talk about this.
I want to touch on something CJ said as well too, man. I do believe that. Like, you know, I shout out, like I said, the independency, but it does take both. Now, however, there are some brothers out there that do not want to be involved, which I pray for those gentlemen, you know, whoever they are out there. But, you know, just for me, seeing my children, man, like there's nothing, like I would do life in prison for how my children, like this, right. And, you know, so I don't understand how, you know, a man or, you know, some females like that too, they use kids as leverage, but I don't understand how a man does not want to be involved in their children's life. I think it's a dual thing. On one aspect, I think there are the people that just like, I'm good. I don't, you know.
But I think sometimes as adults, we don't know how to step outside ourselves.
Okay.
So when you have a situation with, a child's mother, if you beefing with her, then, it can be used, the kid can be used as mom or different things like that. So we as adults allow our personal feelings to affect the kid. And I know earlier in the game, like people, when they first have a child and they're separated, it's hard to step outside of now being co-parents.
Yeah, right.
So a lot of times we can't, it's hard for us to really step outside ourselves. And I know I've been a victim of kind of not stepping outside myself. I'm allowing my personal things to say, you know what, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that, this and this, you do this and that. And sometimes we can't. And it takes us a minute for us to realize, like, the most important thing of the whole equation is the kid.
Yeah, right.
And people say, oh, it's all about the kid, but they don't really mean it.
Yes.
And that's moms and dads. They say, oh, it's about the kids, I do. And that leads me right to social media. Social media now has allowed people to be weekend parents, whether it be mom or dad, or to say, this is the reason I breathe.
Right.
And then you never see them do anything outside of that. You don't never see them with their kids.
No.
Or they say, oh, this is the reason I breathe, and they always trying to hand them off to somebody else.
Facts.
Like, people who know me, like King, normally not really go anywhere as far as with other people. Not that I don't trust people, it's just I don't want to lose that, because with my daughter, I'm kind of like how you were with your dad. It's a long distance. I get to see her, once or twice a month, and then on major holidays, and then summer breaks like that. So it's very challenging for me, again, being that person that didn't have that, to not have that.
Right.
So with my son, it's like I don't want to let go. Like, if I could take him to work, I would. Like, it's like if I could find a way to homeschool and work, like, I would do it, just because I don't want him to miss out on that. But I definitely feel like I said with that, it bothers me on social media that anytime, not even social media, I say in general, with dads, it's always an asterisk behind our name. Meaning, if you say, I think they were posting, for Kobe, rest in peace to Kobe, girl dad, hashtag girl dads. The media response after that was, this doesn't apply to deadbeat dads. Or this, like, anytime there's a post about a dad, it always has to be something else to go with it. You can't just be dad.
Right? No, not at all.
So that's something that definitely bothers me, that it has to be, you can't do this. And it really discredits us. And I'm not saying that everyone does this or, like that, but it shouldn't be, and that goes on both sides. You can't say women, okay, if they post Happy Mother's Day, it's going to go to deadbeat mom.
Exactly.
There's no point to do that. I just feel like on that token, you got to just let her have a moment either way. Whether it's a man or woman, but it definitely bothers me when it comes to dad, that it always has to be other things that come with it. Yeah, you put dad, got to be, well, this don't go to the dads that ain't there, this and that. Or even just airing it out. Like, if you got a beef with that person, you holler at that beef with them. Like, we don't need to know about that. Like,
it's just like the negativity in the media, though. You kind of have our people feeling that way.
Right.
We proven stats that show that we are the most involved, parent out of all men.
Right.
The black man is the most involved.
Right.
And we kind of catch the
bad end.
Yeah,
right.
we
do.
Catch the bad end of it whenever fathers are brought up.
Right.
Yeah, man. I like, my views on social media as far as, like, like I said, I'm very private as far as, like, posting pictures of my children, stuff like that. Just
because there's wackos out here, bro.
It is.
I thought about that other day. I was like, man, it's wackos.
Right. True.
And I'm always careful. I don't never really like to let people know what moves I'm making. Because at the end of the day, everybody's not praying for your success.
Yes.
A lot of people that can cheer for you, or their
success brings
praying,
enemies,
right? And they're praying for your downfall. So I don't ever want to bring any of that intention to my family or my children.
Mm-hmm.
But social media, it allows people to be something that they really are not in real life.
So I had started with the company that I had started this new position,
right?
And one of the first things they asked was, hey, tell us about your family. So I started telling them about my family, and they asked, how can we follow you on social media? What's your Facebook? What's your this? What's your that? So I didn't really have that. And it was almost like, well, how good of a dad are you? You don't have any pictures of your kids. You don't do this. You don't do that. I literally had to go get my wife's page and go to her page and like, okay, look, there's my family. For them to really believe it. It was like, how can you're not posting about it, so it can't be real.
Because that's the perception.
It's the perception.
But the perception that you have to post things like that.
Yes.
You know, before I don't remember we have the little pocket photos. Maybe you pull out your wallet.
Yeah.
I look at this.
Look at my kid.
Yeah. I remember I had one in my dashboard. I had one of Blow and King in my dashboard in my actual car for it. So I definitely remember that. But now it's like if you're not doing those things, it's not happening. Right. But we on the background. We don't have to post every time you're doing something, but you got to get the experiences.
My best friend, shout out my dog. I'm not gonna say your name just for the light of the situation, but I know he doesn't do really any posting. I know he's on there now. His new girl. Shout out to her as well.
Yeah.
Bringing out the best of my guy. He's kind of gotten back on social media and doing different things like that. But he, even though his son he has one, but his son is younger than my oldest.
Okay.
Watching him parent his son, like I shout out to you, bro. That's why he's my best friend. He's one of the best fathers in this world. Right. And he doesn't post anything on social media. Right. You would never know it if you didn't know him. How wonderful of a father he really is.
Right. But his son knows. If you're around his son, he loves that.
Right. He loves that.
And I think that's more important to actually create it for the kids without just posting and saying this and that. Because when you take those trips with your daughter, she remembers that.
Absolutely.
She gonna talk about that for days.
You invest in memories.
When I take King to the trampoline park, everybody knows about it.
Right.
So I definitely think it's more important to do that. And then we want to make sure we leave them with something good. So, like, what advice do you have to fathers, or someone looking to become a father, or just in general about fatherhood?
One, take your time. It takes patience, understanding. That's the biggest thing with raising two daughters or two kids in general, and just make sure that if I'll tell you this, if you're not ready to become a man, it's gonna force you. I have a saying I used to always say, man, the day I stopped trying to be the man, I became a man, and that's when my daughter came into my life. Like I thought I was doing it, and like, no, this is a whole nother different.
Because you used to stun people.
No, not really. No. Only when I had, I'm very reserved, but I'll let you know about yourself.
These they don't even manufacture these in the States.
But that's after somebody try to argue me down. Oh, you don't. Oh, okay. So now I have to present facts. Like, what you think you're doing, I've done that, had that, done one.
Done that.
See what I'm saying? So,
for me, I would just say, most people would say, don't do stuff until you're ready. I'm not even going to say that. I would say commit. Whatever it is that you do when it comes to fatherhood, people will say, oh, well, don't jump out there and have kids. We can say that, but people are going to do what they want to do.
Do what you want to do.
I feel like whatever it is you do, my mom used to tell me, stick to your convictions. So whatever it is you're going to do, if you're going to have kids, commit. Commit to taking care of. Commit to dealing with the woman that you say is a crazy baby mama. Commit to, if you're on the female side, commit to the man that you say he's an ain't nothing, type dude. Commit to that. Live with your decisions regardless and make the best of it. Don't allow social media or this cookie cutter way of doing things to make you think that, okay, I have to do it this way. Right. Make it your own. Make it your own experiences. What you take from what you had to experience to now, use it to your own advantage. Absolutely. And I'm going to give you the last one. See, just what you got.
I'm going to hit y'all with another fact. Right?
Bring that heat.
So, I'm bringing it right. So 70% of black children are born out of wedlock. That's pure government stats. But that's not to say that the fathers aren't involved in their life.
Right.
So the best advice that I could give, make sure that when you decide to have children, pick the mate. They might not necessarily be the mate that you're going to end up with, but pick someone who you could be compatible with, somebody who you can co-parent with. Because it does take two. If you're doing the act, doing what you doing to make babies, be ready for the responsibility.
Right. Because kids do not ask to be here.
They do not ask to be here, and every step you make, every word you say, everything you do, they are watching. They want to be just like you, good or bad.
Yes.
You got to be ready to be that example, that shining light for them, and show them that, just kind of lead them with tough love. That's what being a dad is all about.
Cool. So yeah, man, that definitely was dope. We're gonna shout out. That was good. Shout out to all the times out there.
Right. Feels good.
Now before we go, my favorite part of the show is to tell them why you mad. Now J-Erv came in on 1,000 a day, so he almost was trying to tell me. I said, dog, we gotta save it for the show. So this dude was on one. So I'm gonna go ahead and hand it to my man Urban. Let's tell him why you mad.
I'm gonna
son.
tell you why I'm mad, man. I'm gonna start off right with a little scripture out of the book of Matthew. Okay.
We coming different.
Yeah, come
Okay.
different. Educate people this
Good
morning.
word.
Right, here we go. So be careful not to do your good deeds publicly. Okay? Publicly. To be seen by other men. Otherwise, it will not be honored by the Father above. So,
Break that.
what makes me mad, right?
Tell them why you're mad,
Let me tell you
J-Erv.
why I'm mad, all right? What makes me mad is when you see people out here, that are in less, fortunate situations than you are, right? You go do a good deed, and then as you're doing the deed, you got your camera up. Hey, Instagram, whatever. Look at me.
See the meals out
Right,
here.
you know what I'm saying? And the person is like, being very thankful, but they all on social media. Like, if you're gonna do something, man, do it from the kindness of your heart. And
It's like they've been exploited almost.
absolutely. It's to gain followers, whatever you
Yeah,
want.
exposure. Yeah.
My mentor, shout out to Scott Williams, man. We have conversations
Oh,
all the time.
Scott's good dude.
man.
Well, the knowledge.
Well,
the knowledge.
yeah,
girl.
his brother's got it all together, man. But he puts things in a spiritual, biblical standpoint. And if you ever want to look it up, some of the stuff that we're doing, it's direct word that you're not supposed to be doing those things. If you're gonna do something out of the kindness of your heart,
Just do it.
doesn't need
Do
it doesn't need
It doesn't
to be
have to be
all
over
on social media. What's
no.
all in the video? You know what I'm saying? It don't have to be that, because at the end of the day, why are you doing it? Are you doing it because you want to? Are you doing it because, hey, look at me, I'm
I'm
trying
trying to
to
know.
Yeah,
I'm trying to let you know, Irv.
I know
I
people,
can't let you know that I'm feeding the homeless.
absolutely, absolutely not. You know what I'm saying? You can, but it's like, from a standpoint, like,
Put in my Instagram story.
yeah. If you have-
Hashtag.
Right.
I got y'all homeless people.
If I saw you and you put that like hashtag, I got the, y'all homeless people, and I'm like, you just doing that for publicity, and then
Right.
you come back and say, well, I've been doing this for the last 7 years,
Right.
and I ain't said a word. At that point, it's like, oh, okay, well, that's genuine.
Right.
That's real.
Right.
That's real.
I actually got a funny story about doing the active good.
Okay.
And I didn't record it. So I was actually I was walking into the spot here in Decatur called the Magic Wax. I love the Chinese joint. It's my spot. So I'm walking in there, and the dude, and anyone who knows me know I'm usually not going to be the person who's going to give you money. Like, I'll give you food all day. I got to be, God got to touch me and to be like, all right, I'm going to give you money. Right. Typically, I don't give money. So as soon as the dude walks up, I immediately, I ain't giving you no money, bro. Like, you ask for money, you get, he's like, nah. I just want some food. I'm like, cool, I get you some food, ain't no problem at all. That's my thing. I got you. So I said, we go in there. I said, all right, go ahead and look at what you want. He has a look on his face like he already know what he wants. So I ordered my food. My food like $4 or $5, right? So it goes to him. He's like, let me get a number 7. Let me get a side of wontons. And it's like, you want a drink? He's like, oh yeah, I'll take a bottle of drink. So in my head, I'm like, well, what are you doing, boy?
Right.
Leaves to say my total was like $15. So in my mind, I was laughing like, okay, God, I got you. But it was just funny that the dude was like, he had it planned. Like, I'm getting this meal. He ain't got a side. I didn't even have a drink. This man got a bottle drink, the glass bottle.
You drinking out there.
You offered a blessing,
Right.
and he took it.
That's why I laughed. In my head, I was like, God, I got you. It's cool. But I definitely wasn't, and I never posted about that. I told my wife was just dying laughing. Like, he literally was like, let me get a number 7, side of wonton.
Right.
She's like, oh, you want a drink? Yeah, I'll take a bottle drink. I'm like,
Who do you think you with?
that man got a glass bottle. I'm like,
What style?
right, for real. I'm like, come on, dog. So it was funny though, but I definitely can agree to you that people are trying to, I'm giving this or this like that. And anyone who knows me, I'm a sneaker. I'm not a sneakerhead. I'm a sneaker admirer.
Okay.
I love sneakers. But every year, I'm always passing off shoes. Like every year, I get 3-4 pair of shoes. Like,
Yes, he does.
yeah, brand new. I don't have no problem.
Right.
Because I feel like, I'm going to bless somebody else. I don't care about that.
Yeah.
And I do just different things. So I definitely can feel you with not having a camera all in people's face.
Yeah, man. Like I said, me and Scott have conversations all the time. Like, some of the things that I would never speak about that I didn't even know that he does and does for other people, and he does it just out the sheer will and kindness of his heart.
Right.
And it's like you don't know somebody until you really know them. So that perception is, oh well, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that. But people like him, like my wife, just you brothers, because there's some things that I know that y'all do.
Right.
That we, not off camera. Y'all don't do it for the, to recognize it and all that, man. So, the message. Like, if you're gonna do something, do it out the kindness of your heart, and it doesn't need to be blown up. You know what I mean? So that's why. And I literally just saw it today, man. Like on the way to, like, I'm at the gas station, and there's a guy out front, and these young brothers walk up and they give them some money, but as they're doing it, one guy was on the, I know I'm old, I don't know what a TikTok is, but put that on TikTok.
On the video.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So, and that's why when I came in here, I was like, I gotta talk about this, because it really bothers me. You know what I'm saying? So do stuff at the kindness of your heart, not for the gram,
man. So don't be out here trying to impress folks by putting their face out there and exploiting them, man. So any last words you want to leave them with, Irv?
Yeah, man, I do. I have been getting a lot of text messages like, hey, yo, what's that mean? What's that clothing line you have on? So shout out to my brother, K. Cole. He has a clothing line, coollivingbrand.com. That's cool with 3 O's.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, I'll let him tell you the story behind this, but it's a very, very...
Got the bacon
color. Yeah.
I like
Just dropped in the mail, man. He said, bro, I know how much of a Kobe fan you are. I got the number 24 tatted on my arm. For those that don't know, had this tattoo since I was 17 years old.
Hey.
But I don't boast about that, but...
I need some clothes too.
And he got the proud sponsor, man. Look. And I'm the only XL on 2X.
Now, hey, anybody you got a clothing line, send it to him. I'm size medium.
Extra medium for me. Extra medium for C-Jizzle.
He's trying to show his muscles out here. What about you, dog? Anything you want to leave with C-Jizzle?
Yes, I want to hit on a serious tip. Just getting back on fathers. Any boy can have a child, but it takes a real man to be a dad.
Amen to that, bro.
Facts.
Amen to that.
I'm not even gonna touch that. We're gonna leave it with that. So thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure y'all check us out next week. Subscribe, like, post, share.